Yes, I have a relative that did a slip and fall, had a slip and fall at an establishment, and it messed up her knee, and she could no longer work. Workman's comp paid her for a couple months, and then she didn't receive no more money for a year and a half until the case was settled. But in the 13 years she worked for the employer, she put in money to long-term, short-term disability. Where did that money go? She never got that, was able to use that long-term, short-term disability money. So somebody got that money, and she's out of pocket all that money, and she was never able to use it. Can she go back now and sue to get that money back, considering she was never able to use it?
When did the accident happen?
The claim has been settled.
Right.
This lawsuit is over.
When did it happen, Bob?
It happened 3 years ago.
Okay.
But the settlement only happened about a year ago.
Okay.
Well, Bob, it sounds like the workers' comp portion of the claim has been resolved. Sometimes these short-term and long-term disability policies have an exclusion in them that say that if the disability is a result of an on-the-job injury, we're not responsible for paying you anything. And I'm afraid that may be the case, but it would really depend on her policy, and you probably need to get your hands on his or her short-term and long-term disability policies.
Yeah, and again, Bo's the expert when it comes to comp. We have some dealings with short-term and long-term with our personal injury clients at my firm. And I do believe that, the workers' comp part, like Bo said, is done. And I don't think, you're kind of, barking up the wrong tree when it comes to, who to look for or look at in this situation. There may be something that can be done with the short-term or long-term disability claim. We mentioned earlier in the state of Alabama, and as Alan mentioned earlier, there's a 2-year statute of limitations for negligence and for an injury, but there's a 6-year statute of limitations in the state of Alabama for breach of contract. You mentioned the claim happened 3 years ago, or the injury happened 3 years ago. I believe that if she does have a breach of contract claim, it's going to still be valid in my estimation. And so, just like Bo said, get your hands on the copy of that policy, and you may even want to have her ask the employer, why didn't disability pay? See if they know. And again, there may be an exclusion, and may not be anything that can be done. But if they were to, or should have paid and they didn't, I think you're still within that time frame of breach of contract when it comes to, or statute of limitations with a breach of contract.
So it'd be a contract dispute,
yeah,
and no longer an insurance claim. And,
right,
and as you were talking about...
But if she's owed, let's say she's owed $15,000, they should have paid. That she's still under that 6-year statute of limitations, and she may have a claim there.